Welcome to the first video of the chapter Periodic Classification of Elements. Elements are found everywhere. They are the building blocks of all matter on Earth. There are over 118 different elements occurring naturally on Earth. However, some are created in a lab by scientists through nuclear processes. Each of these elements possesses different properties. Before the beginning of 18th century, there were only 30 elements known to us. It was easy to study and remember their properties. And these 30 elements were broadly classified as metals and non-metals. When they were arranged in a tabular form, there was a long category of metals. Later, the discovery of some elements proved that there are certain elements which have both the properties of metals and non-metals. And as years progressed by, more and more elements were discovered. Hence, studying properties of each element became difficult. So, scientists started to look out for some common patterns in properties which may help them to group the elements and study the properties easily. This arrangement of elements is known as classification of elements, and this led to the formation of periodic table. Classification of elements is the arrangement of elements into different groups on the basis of their similarities in the properties. It becomes very easy to understand the properties of these elements if they are classified. In the year 1829, Johann Wolfgang Dobringer, a German scientist, was the first to classify elements into groups based on John Dalton's assertions. He grouped the elements with similar chemical properties into clusters of 3 called triads. The distinctive feature of a triad was the atomic mass of the middle element. When elements were arranged in order of their increasing atomic mass, the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately the mean of the other 2 elements of the triad. This became Dobringer's law of triads. When elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic mass, the atomic mass of the middle element was nearly equal to the mean of the other 2, and its property were intermediate between those of the other 2. Here is an example of 3 triads identified by Dobringer. In the first case, we have the triad lithium, sodium and potassium. Add the atomic mass of lithium and potassium and divide it by 2. What do you get? So this calculation has proved that the atomic mass of the middle element is almost equal to the arithmetic mean of the other 2. But the limitation of this classification was Dobringer could identify only 3 triads from the elements known at that time. Hence, this system of classification of elements into triads did not prove very useful. After Dobringer's ideas were ruled out, an English chemist, John Alexander Rayner Newland, in 1860 noted that every 8th element show similar physical and chemical properties when the elements are arranged in the increasing order of the atomic masses. This was called the Newland's law of octaves. The law states, when elements are placed in the increasing order of the atomic masses, the properties of 8th element are repeated, or every 8th element had properties similar to the first element. This repetition of properties is just like the repetition of the 8th note in the octave of music. Because of this analogy, it is called Newland's law of octaves. Let us identify some octaves in this table. Here, if you consider lithium as the first element, then sodium will be the 8th element. And lithium and sodium are chemically similar. Similarly, if sodium is the first element, then potassium will be the 8th element. And we all have learned in the chapter metals and non-metals that sodium and potassium are also chemically similar. Similarly, if beryllium is the first element, then magnesium will be the 8th element. So in all these cases, we can see that every 8th element starting from a point has similar properties. Now let's discuss the limitations of this classification. Newland's classification was applicable only up to the element calcium. After calcium, every eighth element did not have the properties similar to that of the first one. In order to fit the elements in his table, Newlands arranged two elements in same slot but also put some dissimilar elements under the same column. For example, cobalt and nickel are in the same slot as they are placed together with fluorine, chlorine and bromine, which have totally different properties than cobalt and nickel. On the other hand, iron, which resembles cobalt and nickel in properties, has been placed far away from these elements. Newlands also did not leave any space or slot in his table for the yet undiscovered elements. Afterwards, many new elements were discovered. The discovery of noble gases disturbed the entire arrangements of elements when they were tried to include in the table. Even though his classification had a few limitations, the most important contribution in the process of classification of elements was the periodicity he saw in every eighth element. The modern periodic table that we shall study later also heavily draws the concept of periods of 8. In addition, it must be noted that Dobryna's triads also occur in the octaves of Newland. So since Newland's classification was discarded, how we got the modern periodic table that we use now? The story is still yet to complete. So I'll be back with the next part of the story through another video. Meanwhile, if you like the channel, do subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get the notification as and when the videos are uploaded. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, press like and share the video among your friends and family.